What's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be covering a case study of how I helped this service-based business scale from $0, literally no revenue, no customers, nothing, to over $112,000 per month in cash collected revenue using Facebook ads and 2 commission-only sales reps. Okay, and it took about 8 months, give or take. Okay, and so in this video, I want to go over kind of the offer structure, the specific marketing funnel that we're using to run paid ads to, my methodology of how I think about paid ads and how I make decisions with the paid ads, that kind of stuff, as well as some things about how we actually structure the sales team, how we recruited the sales team, the sales reps, how we pay the sales reps in terms of the comp, how we train the sales reps and ramp them up, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so first order of business, the company type. Okay, so this is a service-based business. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. They're not selling a physical product. They're not just selling knowledge, they're selling a service, okay? Depending on the customer, as right now, okay, it's 2.5K to a 15K price point, depending on what the customer needs. They have, different scenarios that their customers are in, okay? So I would consider this a high ticket, kind of lower end of the high ticket spectrum, okay? Their sales cycle is between 1 day and upwards of 180 days. The reason it's so wide, like I said, is because there's a lot of different scenarios that their customers are in. Okay, and so we've seen people come in from a paid ad, become a lead, book a call, and they close the same exact day for the lower ticket end, and then upwards of 180 days plus, even in some cases, if there's a timing issue or something like that. Okay, or a logistical issue. Okay, this is a remote company. It's not in person, not brick and mortar. They mainly operate via the internet, Zoom calls, that kind of thing. Okay. The starting state, they were at $0 a month. Okay. Like I said, no revenue, no customers, nothing. Okay. They were struggling mainly with message to market fit, which basically means what they're selling and how they're articulating what they were selling wasn't getting resonance from the market that is the ideal customer, right? So before, they were getting a lot of unqualified leads, a lot of people that are, the best way to describe it is just like weird human beings. So if you've ever ran ads and you just got people who are just like kind of curious, they have no intention, that's kind of what they were struggling with. And this was in September of 2022. Okay, so about 8 months or so ago. Okay, the current state, we're currently at 112. We actually surpassed yesterday $112,000 per month in cash collected revenue. We have 2 commission-only sales reps that are performing well. I'll explain the commission-only sales rep thing later on in this video. Okay, we have some repeat customers that are coming through from months ago that came through from paid ads. We have repeat customers, which is helping with revenue, which is ideal. Okay, something you want to optimize for as well. And it's currently May 1st of 2023. Today as I am recording this video. Okay, and so you can see a screenshot here. Okay, and I'll actually go to the Stripe account here, refresh my screen so you know it's real. Okay, 112.8K this month. We actually about exactly doubled revenue, cash collected revenue from last month. Okay, so today's May 31st. Last month was April. Okay, we did just over 55K in cash collected revenue last month. Okay, and so to be clear, it's actually May 31st, and so it might be a little bit higher by the end of today. If one of the sales reps closes another deal, we might end up around or above 120. But for the sake of this video, we're going to say 112. Okay, and so we did this in about 8 months. Okay, there are scenarios where we can scale faster, but we did it in a really methodical way, and we've gained a lot of steam in the last few months specifically because of the fact that we have gotten the sales reps doing very well. Okay, now we're able to spend more on ads, and we're able to start scaling up more aggressively. Okay, and so let's get into the actual tactics of how we went from 0 to 112K plus in cash collected. Okay, the first thing is, what type of marketing funnel are we using? Okay, and if you've followed me at all, or if you've consumed any of my content up until this point, if you know me at all, you've probably received this document or a document similar to this. This is the reverse call funnel, paid ad strategy. This is a funnel that basically I use for all of my clients. I'll show you a few examples right here. Okay, this is the actual landing page that we send traffic to from the Facebook ads. You can use this for Facebook ads. You can use this for other traffic channels. Okay, it's a simple headline, a sales video, and an application below it. You can also put testimonials and case studies and stuff like that below this if you want, but this works really well just like this. Same thing here, headline, direct to the point sales video, okay, and again, application, okay. Same thing here, straight to the point headline, sales video on how to achieve that result or how your program or your offer solves the viewer's problem, and then application below, okay, with different questions in it, right? Just like this, okay. And so if you have access to this document, go through, read through that reverse call funnel strategy. The key to this strategy is, let me go back to here. The key to the strategy is the application. Okay, so we're driving people click on your ads, they come to this landing page, they see your claim, your headline about what you're claiming your product or your service can actually help them accomplish. They watch a sales video and they fill out this application. The key is this application. What we want to do in this application is we want to filter people out based on a few of the questions in here. Okay, so based on your offer, you can ask questions that either qualify or disqualify people, okay, to buy your offer. Okay, so for example, if your ideal customer needs to be doing over a certain amount of income per year or over a certain amount of revenue per month or something like that, or if they need to be a certain type of business owner or a certain type of investor or something like that, you can ask them those questions in this application. And if they do not qualify based on, you know, their answers to the questions, you can redirect them to a disqualification page or a downsell page. We can sell them, you know, $1,000 course or something like that, a downsell. Okay, if they do qualify based on their answers, then you're going to want to schedule them. What we do is we actually send them to a page where they can schedule a call, just like this, if they're qualified based on those application answers. Okay, that's one of the keys of what I do with this. Okay, not going to get too in depth with it, but if you don't have this document, let me know. Reach out to me. I'll send you this document to go through and actually understand how to set this simple 3-step marketing funnel up. Okay, this is the actual way that you actually get people to click on your ads and apply and become a lead, and then book a sales call with you and or your sales team. Okay, so that's the funnel structure. Okay, now the actual ads, what we did was we tested different videos and different messages in the actual ads. I call them claims, right? When you're testing different ads, you need to, the main thing that matters the most is not how fancy your ads are. It's not how, it's not anything other than what your claim / your message is, right? The thing that you're saying in the first 10 to 20 seconds of your ad is what will make or break an ad campaign, right? And so basically what you want to test is, you want to put out campaigns, put out video ads that say something to your market, a claim, a promise, right? And you want to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then you need to flip and test another claim, right? Examples of claims, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Examples of claims are achieve X in X amount of weeks using Z, right? Achieve X result in XXX amount of weeks using this specific strategy. Okay, that's a way of, testing a claim. That's a way of saying a claim. That's one example of a claim. Okay, another example will help you achieve this specific desired outcome using this XYZ strategy, and it's guaranteed, right? If you don't get the result, you literally don't have to pay anything. It's guaranteed, and we put it in writing, right? It's another way of articulating the same claim. Okay, how I was able to XYZ outcome using this XYZ strategy, right? That's another way of articulating the same thing in another way. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is the way we found the winning ads a winning message is by testing different messages in the ads. Okay? That's the only way you're going to find an ad that works, right? Is you want to test different ways of saying the same thing. And so this is exactly how we find a winning ad, right? In layman's terms, okay? Now, once we found videos/messages in those ads that worked, we did two things, okay? Number one, we mainly spent more in ad spend on those campaigns that were working, right? The highest leverage action that you can take when you find something that's working is to just spend more money on those ads or that set of ads in that campaign, right? Because it's working, right? There's no other action that you can take to get more results than to lean into what's currently working, okay? The second thing that we did was we made new variations of those ads that were working, okay? And so basically what you want to do is once you hit a threshold of, that initial campaign that was working, once you scale that campaign up to a certain amount of ad spend, $200 a day or $300 or $500 a day in ad spend, or even $1,000 a day in ad spend, etc., what you'll find is it will start to have diminishing returns, right? So the more you spend per day on that campaign, you're no longer seeing more leads and more booked calls. Once that happens, you know that you've hit a ceiling on how far you can scale that specific set of ads or that campaign or that specific message in those ads, okay? And so once that happens, then you need to start creating new variations of that winning set of ads, right? That were working, right? You just need to articulate it in a new way. Just like I said up here, there's an infinite amount of ways that you can articulate the same thing in different ways, okay? Just a side note, you don't really need to come up with completely new ad concepts until you are scaling to like $1 million a month plus in revenue, okay? So a lot of people, they make the mistake, and we did a really, really good job of this. When you have something that's working, let's say you're spending $100 or $200 a day on a campaign or whatever, a lot of business owners and marketers, what they'll do is they'll go and they'll be like, okay, we have all these other ideas. What if this works too? What if this works? What if this works, right? And they try to come up with all these brand new concepts for ads when that's not the highest leverage action, right? The highest leverage action is, like I said, number one, to spend more on that campaign that's working. Okay, and then number two is to create new similar variations that are slightly different than those ads that are working. Why? Because you know that specific type of message already resonates with the market, right? And so it has a higher probability of working than if you are testing a completely new ad concept. Okay, so you don't want to, you don't test completely new ad concepts if you don't have to, right? You don't do that until you've hit another ceiling. Okay, and then part of the ad creative planning process is, and this is what I did for this client, this is what I do for all my clients, is we have a Google Doc that looks like this, pretty simple. And what I do is I send over a few different ad creative ideas that I want the client to record. Okay, client records them, puts some captions on them, and sends them back. Okay, I'll show you an example. Okay, I'm not showing the exact client that I'm referring to in this video for NDA purposes, but I will show you an example. There we go. Okay, videos like this. This is my client, Jason. Okay, very simple ads, nothing fancy. Again, the reason we're not using anything fancy other than a simple video like this with some captions is because the thing that matters the most, the thing that you actually need to test, is your claim, your message, right? You don't want to be putting a ton of work or putting a lot of financial resources into fancy editing or fancy ads that are edited all fancy when you don't even know if the message that you're using in the ad is working. You can go ahead and test fancier edited ads once you have a message that's working. That would be an example of making a new variation of what was working. But you don't do that first. What you do first is you test the actual message. Some of the best campaigns that I've run, I'll show you another example here, are selfie videos with some captions. This one actually has the captions on it. Like this, right? With hyper-specific messaging, right? An example would be, are you XYZ type of person looking for XYZ type of outcome? If that's you, we're going to help you XYZ in X amount of time. And if you don't get results, You don't have to pay for it, right? That's an example of an ad claim, a claim in an ad, okay? That is the ad creative concept at a high level, okay? And that's exactly what we did. That's exactly how we tested ad creatives for this client. That's exactly what I do for all my clients, matter of fact, okay? And so just do that and don't vary from this. Keep things simple, test claims, test the message. That's the priority, okay? Side note, in 2023, what we're finding working best is targeting broad audiences, broad targeting, okay? This specific client, we are using completely broad targeting, okay? We're targeting the United States and we're using no targeting at all, just the United States. Everyone in the United States is a candidate to see our ads, but since we have very specific types of ads and we're saying very specific things in our ads, right? These claims are very specific and resonate with the ideal customer. Because of that, Facebook knows exactly who to show the ads to. Only the people in this ideal market, for the most part, are seeing the ads. Okay, that's a very, very important piece that I want to emphasize. You're going to be able to scale your ads much farther if you use broad targeting, okay, and you put all of your effort and focus into testing different ad creatives, different messages, different claims, etc. Okay, moving on. Tracking and how we make decisions about the ads. Okay, I use a very simple tracking sheet with these, and I can see different metrics like our cash collected ROAS, which ROAS means return on ad spend, revenue ROAS, net profit in cash collected, net profit from total revenue, average lifetime value of a customer from a specific campaign, the cost of acquiring a customer from a specific campaign, okay? Just like these, okay? And you can see here, I'm tracking different campaigns that we've run through time, and I know exactly what it's costing per campaign to acquire a customer, okay? $800, $713, okay? This one's high. These are how you make decisions about your ads. It's by looking at metrics, having clarity around the numbers. So for example, with this campaign right here, okay, we have a $4,000 average lifetime value from this campaign, okay? Ad spend, a cost of acquiring a customer of $787 on average, okay? Cash collected return on ad spend of over 5x, meaning we spent $1 and we got back $5 in cash collected revenue. And total revenue ROAS is over 6, meaning we spent $1 and we will, once all the cash is collected, we will make over $6 for every $1 spent, okay? And so another example is this, okay? We spent almost $8,000 on this campaign and we cash collected over $60,000, okay? That's over a 7x cash collected return on ad spend, okay? Average lifetime value from this campaign, $5,500. Costs of acquiring a customer from this campaign specifically is just about $700, which is right where we want to be, okay? If our customers are going to give us an average of $5,500, are we going to spend $700 to acquire a customer? Hell yeah, every single time. Matter of fact, I'm going to spend way more money on these campaigns, which is what we did, okay? Until the campaign breaks, right? Until we see diminishing returns, right? At a certain amount of ad spend per day, this ad spend, this cost of acquiring a customer might shoot up to $2,000, right? That's the point where it's starting to break, right? So we know at that point, we can't really spend more than $500 a day on this specific campaign, right? Because the cost of acquiring a customer was really good until we tried to scale past a certain point, okay? This is how you think about making decisions with ads, right? So those two campaigns that I'm showing you here with these screenshots, okay? These are very healthy campaigns. The ads and the sales team were both working very well, okay? So the highest leverage action we can do is we scale these campaigns and we spend more on those specific ads, okay? An example of a not so good campaign would be this, okay? We spent almost $3,000 here, you can see. Ad spend was almost $3,000. We cash collected $3,000, and the total revenue to be collected was $6,000. That was one customer that closed from this campaign. Okay. Cash collected ROAS was just over 1. That would actually be a loss because we're paying sales commission to the sales team. Okay. Once all the cash collected, it would have been a total revenue return on ad spend of over 2, which is not very good. Okay. And the thing that really we want to see here is the average lifetime value is just about, would be, after all cash collected, would be $6,000. The cost of acquiring that customer though was almost $3,000. Okay. Which is not very good. Okay. That's too high. Okay. So in this specific example of this campaign, as a marketer, what am I going to do? I'm not going to scale that campaign and spend more on that campaign because there's a bottleneck clearly, right? That customer acquisition cost should be, somewhere around $500 to $1,500, right? At most, like up to $2,000. That's even kind of high. Okay, so there's a bottleneck, right? Either the ads aren't working well enough, or there's an issue with the sales team. Maybe the sales team is having trouble closing deals for some reason, or maybe the sales team is having a low show up rate. Like maybe people aren't showing up to the sales calls, right? In this specific case, the problem was with the sales team, not the actual ad campaign. Okay, so what do I do there? What we want to do is we want to leave the campaign running as is and solve the bottleneck on the sales team side in this specific example. Okay, this is how we think about making decisions about ad campaigns and that kind of thing. Okay, hope that makes sense. Now, that's a perfect transition into my next point, which is you need to understand your business and funnel economics, right? I know, like I said, I know that, zoom in again. I know that if a customer on average is going to pay us over $5,000, I can be comfortable with spending $700 to acquire a customer on ad spend every day of the week. Like I'm just going to spend more on that. I'm even comfortable spending up to $1,500 plus to acquire that customer at scale, right? And so since I know exactly what my price point is and how much my customers are going to be worth to me, I know how much I can afford to spend to acquire a customer. If I don't have clarity on, the fact that these customers are on average going to pay me $5K, then I might spend $700 to acquire a customer and I might turn the campaign off because I don't have clarity around the fact that I'm making money back, right? Because I don't have clarity, right? So you might be fearful or get scared and turn that campaign off when that would have made you a ton of money, right? We spent $700, $800 on this campaign, made us over 60 grand in cash collected revenue, right? You're not going to turn that campaign off. Okay. And so a spreadsheet that I like to use, I give my clients to understand, is this economic model, right? And I can send this to you if you want. Just DM me on Instagram or send me an email. I'll send this over. This is a good way to predict based on your price point, based on how well your sales team is projected to perform, exactly how much money you'll make based on a certain amount of ad spend and stuff like that. Okay. And so my point is you need to understand the economics of your business. Okay. Now from a tracking perspective, how do I know and how did I know exactly which campaigns these customers came from, right? And the way that I know where these customers came from is with these UTM parameters. So if you see here, I'll zoom in a little bit further. I know that these leads, these applicants came from this campaign that I label as Facebook Ads 001. Okay. And the way that works is like this. Okay. So this is just an example. 001. I label these campaigns like this. You can see right here, 001. Okay. And basically what happens is when someone clicks on an ad, it passes through a code. It passes through a snippet of code, basically through like this, just using this as an example. Okay. When someone fills out this application on the landing page, it sends through this snippet of code that actually gets sent to your CRM where you store all your leads, right? A CRM like this or a spreadsheet, right? So I know all these specific leads originated from this specific campaign. Okay. And so that's how we track. Okay. We need to understand exactly which campaign a certain lead came from, so that if that lead closes, we know, okay, we know that this is just an example right here. We know that, okay, this lead came from this specific campaign, right? So we can tally up all the cash collected revenue. That's what gives us our total cash collected revenue number against the ad spend. We know exactly what our ROAS is, what our return on ad spend is, and what our cost of acquiring a customer is. Okay. And so, long story short, you need to be able to track where your customers came from. Okay. Now, onto the commission-only sales team. So, what we did was, and just to disclaimer, like, you're gonna have to go through some sales reps, like you're gonna have some sales churn, and we did. Okay, we went through a few sales reps. We had a bit of sales churn, like some people that came in weren't a good fit, and weren't willing to do the work. Right? If we had just 2 sales reps come in and they crushed it, we would have made it to 112K plus in cash collected revenue in just a few months versus 8 months, right? But that's not always how it works. Okay. We did end up with 2 commission-based sales reps who are doing very well. A couple keys that we found. A couple keys that we found specifically for recruiting good sales reps are finding sales reps who have legit sales experience, right? So ideally they did sales for, a B2B company prior, and they're looking for a better commission structure, or they're looking for a better opportunity or whatever. Okay. Or they did like door-to-door sales, or they did something like network marketing, right? Things like network marketing are hard. People that have some success with network marketing would be great candidates for commission-only sales. Okay. People like this. Okay. They came from some sort of sales environment that they did well in before, and where the expectations were high, right? They're not just a newbie training in some program about how to do like high ticket sales. Okay. They need to be like a legit salesperson ideally. Okay. These types of reps these are the types of reps who are typically willing to do legit sales work and have a set of balls. Okay. What I mean by a set of balls is they're willing to take damage. They're willing to, do things that most other people aren't willing to do. If they're first starting out, they should be willing to do some sales on Sunday, on Saturday. Like if someone's first starting out in your company, like they should, the early signs of someone that's a winner is they're taking initiative. They're doing sales stuff on the weekend because they want to win, right? You want winners, not people who are like, oh, they come on the first week. A perfect red flag to get someone out ASAP is the first week they're in, they go, oh, I'm going to be away for the next like 4 days. Red flag. Okay. You want people who are winners. It's also a bonus if they are a former athlete, right? The reason is because they're competitive. They can take some hits. They can take some damage. Okay. They're competitive. They're athletes. Okay. Usually that is helpful. That's a bonus. Okay. What I like to do as well because like when you're doing like sales recruiting, you might get on a Zoom call or like, a call with someone, and everyone talks a big game. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm a hard worker. I'm consistent. I'm going to make you so much money. Blah, 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 blah. I'm ambitious. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to dial the phone, etc. Right? Like the saying goes, talk is cheap. I don't care what people say. I only care about their actions. Okay. And so what I like to do, and what we've been doing in this company, and what we're doing to onboard a few more sales reps to scale further, because we're looking to scale to $1 million a month. We need good sales reps. Okay. Is we are actually requiring people to do appointment setting first. So this is basically them dialing leads that came from the ads and didn't self-book onto a sales rep's calendar, or leads that are from 30 days ago, 60 days ago, 90 days ago, etc., that are a little bit more cold now because they never closed for whatever reason. So that kind of thing, right? They're dialing new leads and kind of re-engaging them. They're dialing new leads, dialing past leads to re-engage them. Okay. This helps to see if they're actually willing to put in the work, right? It's a good way of, before you spend money to get booked calls onto their calendar, before you spend money to get them leads and booked calls, if without having any proof of them doing actual work, you want to get them to dial and get some calls booked for your other sales reps first to see if they're about the action, okay? To see if they're going to do well, see if they're charismatic enough, see if they can, be flexible with the types of human beings they're selling to, that kind of thing, right? To see if they're a winner, right? Once you see the rep is doing well, Then you want to have them shadow the owner or a current sales rep that's doing well. And you want to start to get them to be an end-to-end sales rep as soon as possible. Okay. And so end-to-end sales rep is someone who calls the inbound leads, does a discovery call, sends them content to watch before, a Zoom meeting that they're going to have the next day or the day after that, closes deals, follows up, does all that stuff. That's an end-to-end sales rep. That's the simplest way to run this. That's what we currently have with these two sales reps. Okay. When you have these sales reps shadowing the owner who might be closing deals right now, you, the owner, or one of your current sales rep who might be closing deals successfully. Okay. You want to have them shadow them. This is similar to training a new waiter in a restaurant. Okay. First, the trainee shadows the veteran waiter, right? The veteran is actually doing the order. The trainee waiter is behind just shadowing, understanding the nuances, the tonality, what to ask, what to say, when to say it, the sequences, etc. Okay. Then maybe a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever, the veteran then shadows the trainee, right? And so on the sales call, this is the trainees conducting the sales calls, asking the questions, doing all those things, right? Trying to close the deal, right? And then the veteran can come in and save the deal if needed, right? It's the whole point of the veteran shadowing the trainee once the trainee starts to take action, okay? So it's just a nice transition, okay? Then obviously once the trainee has a lot of reps, they feel comfortable, etc., the trainee then starts to do it on their own. And obviously you're reviewing sales calls, you're giving them feedback in real time, all these things, okay? Training every day. Training, hopping on sales meetings weekly, giving them feedback, asking them, what questions they have, etc. Okay. To be clear, one thing that will help you get to the 100K a month mark faster, okay, is the owner of the company, you or the owner of your company, can and should help get some of the deals across the finish line if you have sales reps that are not extremely experienced, right? So for example, this month, the owner of the company, this client, the owner of this company, they helped several deals get across the finish line with like a 15-minute to 30-minute Zoom meeting, right? It's worth doing if you have a 10K deal or a 15K deal on the line. Get the owner, if you're the owner, get on this, make yourself available to get on a call with the sales rep, the prospect, and yourself to handle any objections, build trust, whatever, right? You're at a point of your business where it makes sense and it's worth doing that, okay? And the last note here is I recommend doing a 15% cash collected commission for end-to-end sales reps. Okay, so if you're doing end-to-end sales reps, like I just explained, it's 15% cash collected, right? So if you close a $20,000 deal and the customer pays 10K up front, the sales rep is getting 15% of that 10K up front. And then when the other 10K comes in, the sales rep will be paid another 15% on that, on that 10K that came in the next month or whatever. Okay. And so literally sales reps are incentivized based on cash collected. They're incentivized on how much cash they're actually generating into the bank account. They get paid when cash hits the bank account or the payment processor. Okay. Last thing, I have a few things here around the sales team stuff. I have a SOP doc here with a bunch of trainings and stuff like that on how to operate a commission-only sales team, a little bit more in depth than what I went into here. And I also have this advanced sales process training. I recommend you and your sales reps watch this and implement this to a T. This is the exact steps that we use with this client, that I use with all of my clients. All my clients are required, as well as their sales reps, to watch this video in full and follow this sales process to a T to close deals efficiently from paid ads. Okay, so most people struggle bad with trying to close deals from leads that come from paid ads because they don't understand how to build trust in a fast period of time. They don't understand what's actually required to turn someone who just learned about the company today into a high ticket customer within a 7 to 30 day window of time. And so there's certain action items in this video that you're going to want to follow to a T, and make sure all your sales reps follow this to a T, and you will make more money and you will be able to close deals faster from the paid ads. So anyway, this is basically the blueprint of how we took this company from no revenue at all to over 112K per month cash collected revenue in about 8 months using Facebook ads and 2 commission-only sales reps. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. You might be wondering at this point, Nick, what the heck do you do? And how can you help me scale my business to 100K a month plus or $1 million a month plus, etc.? And the punchline is basically I do a few things. I run my clients' paid ads hands-on for them, and I also consult with them on other things like how to run the commission-only sales team, the recruiting of sales reps, email strategies as well to help the sales reps and help the sales team close more deals, stuff like that. I also, in most cases, if you don't already have a funnel like the one I showed you at the beginning of this, if you don't already have a funnel, a call booking funnel like this that's working, I usually come in and help before we launch ads, help build out a sales video and a call booking funnel like I showed you, similar to this, okay, before we actually launch ads, because that's required to actually launch ads, because we need to send people somewhere when they click on the ads, right? So that's the high level explanation of kind of what I do and how I help this client. And if you're interested in having a chat about potentially having me come in and work with you, your team, and your company, just go to this link right here, strategicinfluence.io. It'll bring you to a page that looks like this, some content on it. Okay, you can book a call with me right here. There's also some case study stuff on here, some testimonials, case studies, some proof that I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing, etc. Just book a call with me there. To be clear, this is mainly, although I did help this company go from zero, this is a little bit of an outlier. The ideal scenario is you're at least doing bare minimum 30 to 50K a month in cash collected revenue right now, and you're looking to scale past 100K a month, 200K a month plus, and get to $1 million a month ideally. If you're doing, at least 30 to 50K, that's the ideal scenario. So if you're just starting out, if you're a new business owner, this isn't for you. But there's plenty of content on my YouTube channel, and my Instagram and that kind of stuff. So anyway, thanks for your time, everyone, for watching this video. If you have any questions, email me or shoot me a message on Instagram at @TheNickMullen. My Instagram at @TheNickMullen. Okay. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. Thanks for the time. Talk soon. Bye.